Hello, welcome to Curiosity, the science show presented by Young Academy of India. Felix, I'm talking to you here from a beach, the Calicut beach. You know why I'm here? I came here for a conference invited by Government Arts and Science College here in Calicut. So they are the sponsor of my journey to Calicut. So thank you so much, Government Arts and Science College, okay, for inviting me here. So the curiosity, this is the month December. So as usual, the etymology of the December, the month name, right? So it's coming from the Latin decem, which in turns come from Sanskrit dasha, right? Dasha is 10th. So the reason is that it's used to be the 10th month when the year was just 10 months long, right? In the Roman calendar system. Right now we are following the Gregorian system, right? So so that is very, very interesting. By the way, the Sanskrit and Latin and all the European languages all belongs to the same family, Indo-European or Indo-Aryan language family, isn't it? And the December is month of solstice. This December solstice, right? It's used to be called winter solstice here in northern hemisphere, or it's summer solstice, right? In case you are watching this show from somewhere in the southern hemisphere, like Australia or South Africa or Southern America, right? South America, very interesting. And also a lot of meteor showers. I will come to that in a short while. And also, as for the florography, this is the month of that beautiful yellow flower Narcissus. The language of flower is called the florography, isn't it? So as usual, we will see that the roundup of what really moved the world of science, especially with the science related news. The biggest news for the last month has been announcement of Ig Nobel Prize. The prize is usually conferred by the Harvard University. It is basically the physics association, the students association of the Harvard, and this is for such discoveries that make you laugh at first but then make you think. Very interesting, right? And the one which I really like in this year's Nobel Prize is for public health, is by the Korean and American team, and they won a toilet seat attachment that measures your poop and also your urine for various biomarkers that detects your propensity for development of some diseases as well as your nutrition. Are you really having adequate nutrition through your food or not? So it's amazing discovery. So for chemistry and geology, it's for explaining why many scientists like to lick the rocks. The licking of the rock, especially by the geologists, the reason is that the two reasons, right? The first reason is that the licking makes the rock wet. And wet rock, you can, if with a handheld lens, you can easily watch the crystal structure. That's very interesting, right? And the second reason, of course, the licking, that you will be getting the taste of the crystal, right? Most of these are the elements, right? Each element have got its own shape, right? Its own taste, right? So that the taste you will understand what kind of crystal it is, right? So that is the reason why you have got why the geologists lick these rocks. And for literature, very interesting that the kind of sensation repeat exactly same word again and again and again and again many times. What do you feel now, right? You might feel a little bit the kind of different sensation that you get. So that is what they did it. Very interesting. Now mechanical engineering, Anup is a Malayali scientist. He did his BTech from mechanical engineering from the IIT Madras, and then he went to Rice University in the US. He got this award for, it's a big team, right? For something called necrobotics. I've never heard this term before. Necrobotics is the robotics from necro, means dead body. That is basically the spider. Of course, the spider moves its limb all because of the hydraulics, right? So you can make use of this dead spider for picking up some small objects and so on. So that is very, very interesting discovery. And for medicine is for using the cadavers to explore whether there is equal number of hairs in each of the nostrils. Very interesting, isn't it? For physics, it's for measuring the extent to which the ocean water is mixing is affected by the sexual activity of anchovies, the animal. So their sexual activity, how is this being affected by the mixing up of the layers of the ocean? Very interesting. And now for education, it is for methodologically studying the boredom of the teachers and students. Of course, the teachers also get bored in their own class. So of course there is a way to measure it. That is what the scientists did it. For nutrition, for the experiments to determine how electrified chopsticks and electrified straw can change the taste of the food, and how can you tweak this for your experiment, right? So if you electrify your chopsticks, or of course the chopsticks used by the East Asia, right? And also the straw, right? So that is very, very interesting. And now coming to the psychology. Psychology is it's a city-wide experiment of to see how many passers-by stop to look upward when they see strangers looking upward. See, for example, I'm a stranger here in this beach. You can see that how many of these people coming to this beach is actually looking at me to see what is really going on, isn't it? So if I randomly look upwards, so many people will start looking upwards as if there's something interesting in upwards, right? So that is what they did. It's very interesting. Now, the second story is the suicide rate here in India is alarming. It's increasing. It's tremendously up. And of course, here is a gender gap in suicide. Friends, the male have 2.6 times higher suicide rates than female. That is really alarming. And now for married man, it is 3 times more than female. That is really alarming, you see. Now the third story is about the nanoplastics. The last episode we have saw that, right? The microplastics do come often in this curiosity. This is about the nanoplastics with Parkinson's disease. How the nanoplastics is contributing to the development of the propensity of developing the Parkinson's. So the plastic pollution is wreaking havoc, friends. It's really tough. The fourth story is about the supermassive black hole right at the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way. Of course, it has already been discovered right in 2023. It is called, Sagittarius A star, right? So it's found to be spinning near its maximum rate, dragging the space-time along with it. So of course the space-time, the time itself is an axis in what should I say, in the space-time. You see, the time can also be stretched, right? In case if I'm talking to you this from nearby a black hole, so the space will be completely different, right? So that is the news of this. Now the fifth one is the crisis in the skies. Pilots are not getting the mental health treatment because they fear they will lose their wings. That is really sad. The pilots are not really getting. The reason is that, if they approach a proper qualified, the psychologist to get treated, they are fearing that their job will be at stake. They will lose their job. And it's not just the pilots. It is for any profession, friends, right? So whatever be the profession, if it is not really, if the men are going to approach this therapist, they are fearful that it may even affect their job. So that is a huge crisis. The COP28 is going on right now, right? It has just started in Dubai. The COP28 is the biggest climate conference in the world. Around 4,000 people are going to Dubai to discuss about the planet's climate change, right? But then environmental groups are completely criticizing it. For example, the Greta Thunberg of the Sweden. You are burning your fossil fuel just to travel for attending this conference, in which the Greta is saying it is just a blah blah blah. So there is nothing is actually happening in the conference. Very interesting, right? Now, well, anyway, I'm really hopeful this COP28 is going to be productive. By the way, the Paris Accord, the COP25, happened just 8 years back, right? The 8 years is nothing for planet-wide reduction for the carbon, right? The CO2 levels. Seventh story is that the Nature retracts room temperature superconductivity paper. Room temperature superconductivity had been a very infamous paper in the journal Nature by Professor Ranga P. Dias. He's an Indian origin physicist from University of Rochester, right? So and the eighth story is the ISRO has set up to launch X-ray polarimeter satellite XPOSAT. That is very interesting news. It's all about the polarization, of the intense X-ray sources in the universe. This satellite can measure it. So it is, I think, there is maybe the only one telescope that the ISRO is actually launching into the space. So of course, the Aditya L2 is also a kind of a observatory for studying the process of the sun. And now this is going to be very interesting, right? This is it's kind of a telescope. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Space related news from the last month has been an Indian astronaut is now going to travel to an international space station about ISS, I mean with the NASA, right? So of course the NASA director recently he came to India and made this announcement. So now ISRO is going to select the astronaut who is going to ISS in 2025. Exciting news, isn't it? And another news space related again is that of course that is if you see that it's not going to be the he or she is not going to be the first Indian because Rakesh Sharma has already been to the space about Soyuz, right? Soyuz T11 in 1984, really long back, isn't it? Another alarming story is from Antarctica. The ozone hole is expanding mid-spring since 2001. So since 2001 the expansion is now confirmed, right? That is not a good news at all. And the 10th story is that the COVID-19 vaccine not contributing to the sudden death as per the ICMR. So of course I also lost a close friend of mine, Professor Tarun Arora. He was only 46 years due to sudden cardiac arrest, and this kind of death is increasing tremendously. The young people are succumb to the death because of this sudden silent heart attacks. So many people are saying, okay, there is a risk with the COVID-19 vaccine, right? Because a lot of fake news is happening, friends, everywhere in social media is full of fake news, right? And now the ICMR actually made a study. Is there in a relationship with the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine with this sudden heart attack? No, it is all fake news. And 11th story is about a very interesting aurora. It is a red aurora spotted in Ladakh. So usually auroras are only in pole, right? The polar region because of the magnetic effect. In Ladakh, I was not really expecting it. Yesterday I went for a talk here, I told you, in the Government Arts and Science College, and a girl told me, she brought this into my knowledge. I was even not aware of this story. So thanks to that student from that college who brought into this attention, and then I confirmed, yes, they saw the aurora. It's because of the geomagnetic storm. I told her at that time too, maybe it's because of the magnetic anomaly of that region. So it is something called SAR event, SAR, that is Stable Auroral Red Arc. Very interesting, right? So every month of this Curiosity also features a cover image, and for this month's cover image is the massive iceberg which has just split off from the Antarctica, and the iceberg is known as A23A, which is the biggest iceberg in the history. So of course that history keep on getting broken, and this year had been the hottest year in the recorded history too. So this iceberg is larger than Dubai. So that is really alarming, right? I just want to make sure that all recording is well and fine because my mother is recording here. So yeah, so everything looks to be fine now, no problem at all. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Mom. All is well, recording is well in progressing, right? Now coming to the month's discoveries, right? The paper, the published literature. Yeah, the first story is about the attractiveness, especially for the male, is linked with the professional success. That is, that has an impact on the socio-economic success than women. So the attractiveness for the man somehow play a more crucial role than women's attractiveness in landing in a high-paid job and also getting invited for the party, for example, party with the higher social class, right? That is a pretty interesting story. Of course, these are all biases, right? Unknown biases. So yeah, so unknown because we ourselves is not aware of it, right? Subconscious biases. Second story is a study has revealed that 20 minutes of the morning exercise is sufficient not really sufficient, but it really helps to alleviate sleep related stress, sleep deprivation, right? So yeah, so that's very very interesting. So to improve the cognitive function in people who are sleep deprived because of the low oxygen level. So in case you have this sleep deprivation, consider taking around 20 minutes of a moderate level exercise in the morning. That's very interesting. And the third story is that the growing number of people in the England and Wales are being found so long after death. It's all pointing to the social isolation that everyone is now undergoing. That is really alarming. Yeah. So most of the death in rich countries are revealed by a kind of strange smell that the neighbors feel. Because the neighboring room is occupied by the elderly, single, lonely elderly people. That is really alarming. Fourth story is about the measles. The measles is coming back. That is really alarming because of the measles is protected by MMR vaccine, right? Mumps, measles, and rubella. But then there are a lot of fake news in the world about MMR causing autism, right? So it's most probably it's because of these fake news that the people are now hesitating to take the MMR vaccine. Don't be like them, friends. The measles now 43% increase since 2023. So 2022 to 2023, in 1 year, 43% measles case outbreak has increased. That is really tremendously high. So all because of this fake news. We really have to fight for that, right? Fifth story is that the UK has introduced something called sugar tax in 2018, and the sugar tax is contributing overall for the tooth decay problem. That is very interesting. The tooth decay has reduced by 12%. Isn't it very exciting, right? And it also saved more than 5,500 hospital visits across the hospitals in the UK. And the sixth story is about the eye-to-eye contact during conversations is pretty rare, right? So basically it says only 3.5% is the eye-to-eye contact that people have it, right? When you speak to a person, only 3.5% of the time you are actually locking contact eye-to-eye with that person. But then, even though that is only very very few seconds, but that time is very crucial. That is what the study says. This time, even though it lasts for a few seconds, appears to be the important predictive factor for subsequent social behavior. Interesting, isn't it? Seventh story is about the baby's brains, which are primed for their native language before birth. Very interesting. So that means that when baby is in the fetus, the mother, right, how she is speaking, right? So the kind of languages that she speak actually play a role. It actually affect the baby's brain. That is pretty interesting. When I read this story, I was thinking about the Noam Chomsky and his linguistic theory of universal grammar. All of us are born with a language faculty, right? So there is already a native faculty in it, but then we need to train it, right? So that is what this study is also highlighted. It's pretty interesting. Eighth story is that the people with permanent tattoos are more likely to be arrested, convicted, incarcerated, that is put in the jail. If you have permanent tattoo, I lived in Japan for quite some time. They have this mentality against the tattoo. People with tattoo are frowned upon in Japan. And it's not about Japan, anywhere in the world. I also have a very interesting experience on my luggage. Basically the trolley. Here in India we call it as a trolley, right? Four-wheel spinner. I put lot of sticker of the places and cities and attractions where I visited around the world. I've been to 27 countries, so different flags I put it. So at that point of time, I used to get interfered by the customs quite often. Maybe they also have this doubt that contraband goods, the likelihood of carrying is much higher in those people having this kind of stickers. So it's quite similar to the tattoo story of this month. Next story, the ninth story, is that the study on 20 adults found that the sensors in the smartphone, very interesting, right? And also with the smart speakers like Alexa, with an algorithm can predict that the person who is speaking is under intoxication, alcohol intoxication or not. So if you drunk a lot of alcohol, your smartphone mic or your speaker mic can predict it with 98% success. That is amazing, isn't it? Very, very interesting. And the 10th story is that scientists made the discovery that light alone can evaporate the water. So as you see the water, usually water is being evaporated when you apply the sunlight, because of the hot, right? So I always think like that. It's mainly because of the heat in the sunlight, like infrared is the reason why the water is being evaporated, right? But now, as per this story, even the light alone, right, without infrared, without the heat component, can evaporate the water molecules. That is pretty interesting. Yeah. Now coming to the 11th story is that ultra white ceramic tiles, which can actually reduce the heat in the buildings by 99.6%. So the reflectivity is pretty high in a white ceramic coated roof. So yeah, in case you are building your own home, consider having white roof. That can substantially reduce the dependence on heat, the cooling, right, like air conditioner. So that's pretty interesting. I also read a story in somewhere in Andes Mountains. I think it's near Machu Picchu Mountains. The glaciers, right, the retracted glaciers, they painted white paint so that the glacial retraction has slowed down tremendously just because of the painting this rock into the white color, right? That's very interesting. Now next story, the 12th story, is that low cognition, that is low intelligence, predicts unrealistic optimism. That unrealistic optimism means being confident, and thinking that everything will be fine. Don't worry much, things are going to be fine. So if you are thinking like that, maybe your IQ level is also pretty low. That is very interesting, right? And if your IQ level is high, that is correlated with realism and pessimism. So if you're a bit pessimistic, or if you are planned for the contingency, that means that you are of the little bit of a higher IQ level. That is pretty interesting, right? So yeah, so that predicts the intelligence. Very interesting. Now the 13th story is that when being asked a tricky math question, right, so you might be wrong, no problem, but then the person who asked you the question actually shows you the correct answer. Even then, many people think that their initial answer is right after all, and they fail to accept the fact that why that answer is wrong, why the correct answer is the right answer. It's something related with the Bayesian perspective, but that is what this study is all about. It's pretty interesting, right? So yeah, they keep intuitive, the first response, the reflex active action response, rather than the incorrect answer. They keep that incorrect answer rather than a correct answer with them. That is alarming, in fact. 14th story is the collective intelligence can help to reduce medical misdiagnosis. When I was in Japan, I had a kind of the cough, right? Then I went to meet a pulmonologist. He took an X-ray. Then he saw the X-ray, and then he told me, Felix, I think there is no problem, but I want to make doubly sure that my diagnosis is correct. So can you please wait for an hour? Let me ping that into my server with lots of other pulmonologists around Japan. They have this kind of a group, that everybody can contribute in. That is pretty interesting. That is exactly what this collective intelligence is all about. So this new story, after that they said that there is no problem, it may be some kind of allergy. So yeah, that is what really happened to me when I was in Japan. And now this story is it's a huge number story. 250,000 people. Yeah, 46% accuracy if a single pulmonologist or single doctor is looking after that X-ray or whatever be the diagnostic, right? But then if you increase the pool, right, if you increase the pool 10 diagnosticians, so instead of one doctor, 10 doctor, then the accuracy is actually increasing to 76%. So collective intelligence, friends, that is going to be very very interesting, so yeah, so do check our Facebook group for more exciting science related stories. Yeah. And yeah, now coming to the next part of curiosity, it is observances. Today I'm recording this on 1st of December. Today is World AIDS Day. Tomorrow is a National Pollution Prevention Day, and also Fioned Meteor Shower Day. I told you in this month you can expect a lot of meteor shower. In case you are watching this show from somewhere with less air pollution and as well as less light pollution, for example high up in the Himalayas, or even Western Ghats are really nice place for sky watching, right? There are around 8 meteor showers expected in December. So December is a month of meteor shower. December is also month of solstice, December solstice, I told you, right? The third is the Persons with Disability Day. Fourth is an excellent day for watching Mercury at the greatest eastern elongation. Fifth is Soil Day. Sixth is Cassiopeia Meteor Shower Day. Cassiopeia, it's an annual event, another meteor shower, right? Seventh is Civil Aviation Day. That is in case you fly in aircraft, this is a day to celebrate the victory of all the technicians and all the scientists, curiosity driven scientists who worked behind it, the principle, including imaginations by the artists like Leonardo da Vinci. So that is about Bernoulli, right? The mathematician Bernoulli's principle have been used extensively for civil aviation industry. Yeah. And on the same day, the 7th, you can see it's something called Puppet-Velid meteor shower. Puppet-Velid. Yeah. 9th is Moon-Mars conjunction. Right, in the same frame you can see Moon and Mars together, and also monoceroid meteor shower on 9th. 10th is Human Rights Day. 11th is Mountain Day. 12th is Hybrid Meteor Shower. Yeah, the meteor shower is called hybrid, and the 14th is Geminid Meteor Shower, another meteor shower. Look, so many meteor showers, right? 15th is Orion Nebula, the Orion Nebula in the astro constellation, right? Orion, you can see that right in the center, right in the belt, hanging belt, 3 star right in the center. It's not a star, it's actually a nebula. Even without a use of binocular, you can see that nebula. It's like a cloud, but with a small binocular you can really see. Please don't don't miss this event. Okay, so this is really interesting. 15th, and also on the 15th there is another reason to go for sky watching. This is the best day to see the earth shine. Earth shine is on the moon. The other side of the moon gets lighter because of the illumination from the earth. Earth shine, you can spot this earth shine on 15th. 16th is the Comet-Berenid meteor shower, and 18th is the Migrants Day. I myself is a migrant worker. I'm working in Punjab, right? So that day is for all the migrant workers. And also on the same day you will see the Moon-Saturn conjunction, Moon and Saturn in the same frame. And 20th is Leonis Minorid meteor shower. Leonis Minorid. 22nd is the most awaited December solstice. It's a winter solstice for us in northern hemisphere, right? And also Moon Jupiter conjunction is happening on the same day, 22nd. Okay, it's 21st in some other countries, but here in India it is 22nd. Okay, yeah. And 23rd is Ursid meteor shower, and 27th is Epidemic Preparedness Day. Epidemic Preparedness Day. Okay, so I'm just looking at my mom asking the passers-by to take another route. So I don't know, it made me to laugh. Okay, all right. So Epidemic Preparedness Day is a very very important day to prepare for the upcoming epidemics and pandemics like the next COVID-19. We really have to prepare for it. And also on 27th is the cold moon, also known as Auk moon. The full moon of December is called cold moon. Okay, that is on 27th. Now coming to the final part of a curious, the opportunities for the young researchers and also for the students. SERB Overseas Doctoral Fellowship is open now. The closing on 2nd January 2024. So if you have a master's degree in sciences like MSc or MTech or MBB, MD, you can go abroad for PhD. There is ample of scholarship supported by the SORB. IIT Gandhinagar has early career fellowship open now. 15 December is the deadline. Saroj Chandrasekhar Memorial Award is open now. It's 10th December is the deadline. The Branko Weiss Fellowship for the Society in Science, that is basically the postdoc fellowship, the open now, it is the 15th Jan 2024 is the deadline for the, it's a very prestigious, postdoc fellowship. Of course, there are several JRF and project fellowship call open through. You can please check out my channel in the YouTube. In the group, our moderators of the Young Academy of India regularly share these links over there. And before closing, a few opportunities from ISC, International Science Council, where I'm a member of. Right. Call for the case studies on safeguarding intangible cultural heritage and climate actions from Asia Pacific region. It's open now. It is by integrated research on disaster risk under the auspices of the UNESCO. Deadline is 10th January. Okay. Now call for applicants for IUPAC Solvay International Award for the Young Chemist. Very prestigious award for the young chemist. It's open now. This is for the outstanding PhD thesis, in the chemical sciences. 15th Feb next year is the deadline. Digital communications officer, that is also open now. That is the remote work at Earth for All. That is basically a work. It's a job. Okay. Earth for All is an international organization. This is a communications officer. The deadline is 3rd December. That is just day after tomorrow. But you can please check out the links. All these links are in the show notes. Okay. That show notes link will take you to my blog, in which you can see all this. The link to apply for these awards and fellowships. Okay. 2024 IUPAC Richter Prize in Medicinal Chemistry. That is open now, and the deadline is 15th December. Okay, so it's a Richter Prize. It's a very prestigious award. And also called for applications for the IIASA, that is systems systems analytics, young scientist summer program, that is open now. The deadline is of 12th January 2024. Well, before going, as usual, I do share the book that I'm reading. Right now I'm reading the book called Vagabonding, an uncommon guide to the art of long-term world travel. This is a book for everyone who loves traveling, So this is the authors of these books are Rolf Potts and Tim Ferriss. The Tim Ferriss is a well-known name, right? So yeah, that is the book which I'm reading. I think it will take some time to finish it, and definitely you can expect a summary of this book in the same channel that you are watching this from. Of course, my own book, the two books that I recently published, both are available online in Amazon. The Biostatistics and Mathematical Biology, the textbook is by the Pearsons. And also my life skills, the book is available. You can order through my own website, so that you will be getting ample of discounts to the cover rate, right? So yeah, that's it. And I hope you are going to have a very productive this month of December. I just want to show you around the beach where I'm talking this from. So yeah, I'll just show you around. Okay, this beach. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking to you. This is, as you can see, this is a sunset here. And so this is a very beautiful place, actually, the Calicut, right? The Calicut. Basically my mom is from a place called Tiruvambadi. Tiruvambadi is it's on the banks of Iruvanyi river. She is from, right? Of course we didn't go there. I just came here for the conference, right? So yeah, thanks so much everyone for staying tuned. So keep tuned. I will see you in the next episode of The Curious. That is going to be episode number 51 in the month of January 2024. So the next year. See ya. Bye. Take care.